tonight we are going to continue our 8-week series about learning the 8 limbs of yoga. So if you haven't looked at last week's video, go ahead and take a peek. Kind of gives you an overview of the 8 limbs of yoga. Tonight we're going to dive into the first limb, okay? And I just want to set out this reminder, guys, that this is really a quick and dirty educational series for you to kind of give you a little bit of some golden nuggets to take with you. If you want to dive in further with me on this, I would love to do that. And we do that through our one-on-one coaching in the Prescribed Awakening. And if you haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and head over to my website at www.yogahealthnurse.com and check out the one-on-one coaching that I offer to you. And we dive into how you really can live through these 8 limbs of yoga one-on-one. So with that being said, I want you to write down some important dates before we get started, all right? So the first one is every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm right here on your computer screen talking to you about how you can live a life of yoga and improve your nurse life through doing so. All right. Second one is we're going to have a new moon, which new moons represent change. Great time to reflect on what's been going on in our life over the last month. And that's going to be happening on February 23rd. So I'm hosting a live class, a new moon class on February 23rd, which is a Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's online, and you have to purchase tickets for that. And the event will be up on the Yoga Health Nurse page. If you have any questions, you want to do it, hit me up on a DM. I'll for sure give you the link. Second one is February 26th, right here live. It's a Wednesday night. We're going to have a Q&A. So any questions that maybe have come up for you, this is a great way to sneak in those one-on-one questions about the 8 limbs of yoga that you may feel that relates to your own nurse life. Sneak those in. I'm here to answer any and all questions to you that Wednesday evening. And then the last one is we will be launching the membership, so the Healthy Healer Circle membership, which is a monthly membership, on March 1st. So the doors will open to enrollment on March 1st and they will close on March 7th. So again, all the information for the membership and the one-on-one coaching is over on my website, so go ahead and check that out. All right. So with that being said, let's roll into the first limb of yoga, which is called the Yamas. Now, these are ethical standards, right? And as nurses, we have a nursing code of ethics that hold us to a standard of integrity by focusing on our own behaviors and how we conduct our own nursing practice. And I say our own because we are responsible for how we show up in the world. We're not responsible for how that other nurse shows up, but how we show up in our nursing world. And this is there are 5 yamas in this branch, and I'm gonna breeze by them again. Again, we can go so deep into this on one-on-one coaching, guys. So if you're into that and you want to learn more about this and how to really truly bleed yoga, because this is really the essence of it, reach out to me. Let's get this started. So the first yama is ahimsa, which is non-harming, right? So as nurses, we know, do no harm, right? Give non-harming care to your patients. But it's not only giving non-harming care to your patients, it's also about giving non-harming care to yourself, right? So starting to think about how you may be talking negatively about yourself, for example, if you have, you have some fear or low confidence or low self-esteem around nursing, right? You're doing harm to yourself by giving yourself those words, right? In your brain and in your heart. You don't want to practice that way. You don't want to set yourself up. And we also have the nursing code of ethics, and that really sets us up for how we should be practicing our nursing for others. And then the other one is non-violence towards other nurses, okay? So I want to help stomp out nurse bullying, and it's really because I was a victim of nurse bullying, and so I know how shitty it can be and feel. And in the membership coming up, we're actually have a whole month that's going to be focused around nurse bullying and how to show up for not only yourself, because you can nurse bully yourself, and for others. So ahimsa, non-harming to your patients, yourself, and other nurses. Non-violence, okay? Nothing. Nada. So all I want you to do is start to become aware of when you're starting to do this. So awareness is key, right? So every time just go, yep, there it is. Yep, non-harming. I'm going to practice some ahimsa. And guess what? By doing that, by being aware and saying, yep, there it is, practicing ahimsa, you're practicing yoga. All right, so moving on. Number 2, satya is non-lying, right? So be truthful to yourself and your patients, their families, and your colleagues. We tend to distort ourselves continuously. We lose our lust of life and look towards other things that fulfills us. All right. So non-lying, really getting to the truth, the essence of your core. How do you want to show up? What's your nurse values? Okay. Third one, asteya, non-stealing. And this not only goes for stealing physical items, but also stealing emotions from others, comparing ourselves continuously. You know, that nurse is a better nurse than me, or I'm better than her, vice versa, right? We're going back to the non harming as well. So a lot of this kind of interconnects as well. So stealing from ourselves, right? All the demands and expectations that we place on ourselves. We feel that all the way through nursing school, right? Like you have to get the best grades, you have to pass, you have to be the best nurse, all that stuff, right? Is we're stealing from our energy, our core, our essence of being a nurse. So give yourself grace, right? And this will also, if you're stealing from yourself, you're also going to reduce your enthusiasm of being a nurse, right? So you're depleting, you're running your battery low by doing this. All right. Number 4, brahmacharya. Non-excess. So living in non-excess, right? So around nursing, not working too many hours. Now I get it. There are some people out there that are going to need financial help, right? So picking up an extra shift for extra cash definitely is going to help in those situations. But I really want you to start to becoming aware of how much overtime you're actually doing, right? And if you find yourself in this financial conundrum of where you're spending too much money that you literally have to drown yourself in extra hours, then maybe you have to kind of look at your finances. And I will give a shout out to the Debt Free Nurse. If you don't follow her on Facebook, at Debt Free Nurse, she's amazing. She works with nurses all around getting debt free and financial freedom and confidence and all about that. So if you really need help there, again, she's a nurse. She's diving into us and she's one of our own and she's inspiring nurses, all that good jazz. So check her out. But again, living in non-excess, not working too many hours or days, that's going to deplete your nurse energy, right? It comes at a cost. Yeah, you get some money that you might need to be able to go out and get your materialistic things. But again, we're coming back to the core, to the essence, who we truly are. Those things, I hate to tell you, are not truly who you are. Or are they? Do some journaling around that, right? And so sharing with others, other nurses. So you want to be able to work as a team, right? So that's so important in nursing. No nurse left behind, all right? You guys, there's no way that anybody should be sitting down on their cell phone at the nurse's station. You want to take a break? Go ahead, 5 minutes. But if you see another nurse drowning, I want your ass up and helping that other nurse. Sorry, had to get a little bit crazy on that part. But it's so important to work as a team, right? It's so important. And guess what? If you work as a team, the whole unit, the day goes so much smoother. And you develop trust, right? For you guys out there who've been watching me for so long, it takes so long to actually trust me to tell you or show you how to live a life of yoga. I completely get that. Do this with your fellow nurses. Be a team and be trustworthy. You don't have to be best friends. You have to be colleagues, and we're all moving towards the greater good, the care of the patient. So put all your bullshit aside and take care of the patient and connect via nursing. All right? Last one. You ready? Aparigraha. Say that 3 times fast. So this is called non-possessiveness. And this is the ability to let go, letting go of your patients for a true break. Now, I talked a little bit about this on previous Facebook Lives, letting go of your shift, right? I've talked about this. I gave you three options as well in that recording. But tomorrow night, because tonight is Wednesday, tomorrow night, I'm going to be going live with Brittany Stockel. She is hosting a live event for us to talk about how to leave work at work. So she has a free Facebook group that's called Intro to Yoga for Nurses on Facebook. Check her out. And I'm going to be going live with her tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And talking all about this, about how you can let go through yoga as well. So there's going to be a lot more stuff involved in that versus the quick Facebook Live that I did a few times back. All right, so being able to let go, letting go of your patients for a true break, right? So if you have those phones or those things you wear around your neck or a pager, let someone else watch that for even 5 to 10 minutes. And the more that we connect, right, the more we build trust, you're going to have a nurse that's going to want to help you out with that, you know? Sometimes we victimize ourselves like, well, I'm not going to take that. No one takes that from me. Does that help? Does that help? Let me ask you, does that help? Hello, Bueller. So think about that, right? Being able to let your nurse, your fellow nurse, go to a true break and then having them allow you to do the same. It's so important, you guys, even if it's for 5 minutes of quiet. We talk about how our brains run all the time, how our bodies are moving all the time for nursing, how we're having shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, foot pain. Help each other out, right? So letting go of work at home, again, I just kind of talked through this, having the big Facebook Live or the big event tomorrow night with Brittany. And the other big thing is letting go of ego. And this falls in place with the nurse bullying as well, right? And the first thing to realize, like, people take ego as such a bad word, right? And it can be, don't get me wrong. But you need to recognize when it's your ego and it's not your true being, your true nurse heart, right? It's just your ego speaking. And a lot of times you need to simmer that down. But if you're new to this game, I really want you just to become aware of it. Just be like, yep, there's my ego. Yep, there's my ego. If you're new to yoga, which is a lot of people that I help and teach through the yoga health nurse movement, which I completely adore and love teaching people who are new to yoga, or maybe you haven't had an established yoga practice for very long. Maybe you've been on the mat for a week, got off for 3 months, back on wishy-washy, anything like that. But you'll learn the more that you get on the mat, the more about your ego. Because as you're going through these poses that may be challenging to you one day and easy the next, you're going to start to realize that you're talking shit to yourself. Like, you're like, dude, you did that yesterday. Like, that's your ego showing up, right? So we want to be aware of our ego. And letting go of the reins, right? So non-possessiveness, letting go of the reins, being comfortable with not knowing everything. There's so much in medicine, in nursing, that even the scientists don't even know yet, right? So it's like knowledge is continuously coming down the pike. And I don't want you to be ashamed that you don't know something. And I'm going to tell you, a dangerous nurse is somebody who knows they don't know but doesn't ask a question. You're going to kill somebody. Point blank. So it's better to speak up, to have those mentors, to have those people, to have those doctors that you can go to and talk to and be like, hey, listen, like, I don't understand this. I had an example today. Like, we had a question come up that I couldn't even explain. And I was like, I don't know. Went online, looked at acc.org, like all the references, all the research, and I found the cardiologist and I was like, can you explain this to me? Like, I have no idea how this is. But without actually letting my ego go, instead of being like, no, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm a cardiac NP. I've been a cardiac NP for 10 years. Like, no, I let my ego go and I was like, dude, I need to know this, because if this comes up again, I want to be the one who can react and help to save the patient, right? So just letting go of the reins and becoming comfortable with asking questions and becoming comfortable with not knowing everything. And with that being said, I want you to surrender. Apariharga, not possessiveness. You need to learn to surrender. And one of the biggest times that I want you to surrender is post-shift, right? So when you get home, I know you probably have tons of different hats that you wear, but at some point, take at least 5 minutes to completely surrender and let go. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and dirty introduction to the yamas and how they play into your nurse life.